Was good, ballers? It's Jim's Ballin' back again with another video with the weekly recap for the latest Lions game. Went into San Francisco and got a dub week 17, setting up a massive week 18 matchup against the Vikings for the division and for the number 1 seed. We'll talk more about that later, but let's get into the game a little bit. The first thing I want to talk about was the defense, because man, the defense was kind of atrocious. Guess talk about the bad news first is just the defense. I don't know, I think getting pressure on the quarterback has just been harder with all those guys injured up front and just not able to get many stops. The 49ers just scoring touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, except for when they got turnovers. And I think those two Corey Joseph picks kind of won the game, sealed the game for the Lions here. And that's just what we need. This defense really needs to be able to generate turnovers to win games. Just with how injured they are and how banged up they are, it's hard to get sacks. They're not really getting many sacks. It's hard to get stops. But if they can generate turnovers, that'd be huge, swing the momentum in game. I mean, if you don't really need to get stops if you can get turnovers and get your offense in good field position, you know. But obviously get healthier going into the playoffs. It's kind of looking like we can get some guys back for the playoffs, so that's good news. But yeah, this defense is really shaky, and I'm just really nervous about it. Especially when we're playing against next week against the Vikings. We're playing against really good teams in the playoffs. Can this defense hold up enough? And I don't have too much faith in it, but I guess cross your fingers and hope that it gets better week after week. And then the offense is just ridiculously good. Yes, the 49ers were kind of walking all over the Detroit defense, but the Detroit offense was able to score whenever they kind of wanted to as well. No turnovers as well. And I kind of want to sing my praise for Sam Laporta a bit. I feel like maybe this year he hasn't been getting as much credit. I mean, I guess numbers-wise, look at receiving touchdowns and receiving yards. Not as good as the rookie year, but if you look at things like blocking and just the effort on every play, it's still there. Sam Laporta is insanely good. He did get a touchdown, but on both the Jameson Williams touchdowns, he was blocking and really set those up. Just been feeling like maybe Sam Laporta is a little underrated now. Another hook and ladder play that went for a touchdown. Those are kind of becoming a staple in the offense now, and they're just working insanely well. Ben Johnson called an amazing game. Really good play calls, and Gibbs had another big game. Looks like he's been able to handle the increased workload very well. Yeah, the offense is just insanely good. One of the best in the league, maybe the best in the league. It just kind of comes down to this defense. Can the defense get enough stops? Can they generate turnovers? If so, then I think they can win games. I guess I kind of want to sing my praise for Jake Bates a little bit, except for him like doing like a little sexual stretch on the sidelines. I don't know why they showed that. Didn't really need to see that. But shout out to Jake Bates. He made his field goals, had an extra point block, but doesn't really matter too much. Made both his field goals, and having a good kicker is kind of underrated, especially watching Jake Moody on the other sidelines for the 49ers miss extra point, miss field goals. So having a good kicker is something we really like to have. Maybe don't need to see the stretches, but Jake Bates, really good kicker. Really glad to have him on the team. But yeah, a little bit of a shaky first half for the Lions, but they bounced back really well in the second half and walked out with a win. Maybe didn't matter too much because it really comes down to this Week 18 matchup with the Vikings. But I mean, a win's good to get revenge for last year in the NFC Championship. Good win against the 49ers. And as for the 49ers, I don't really know what they do for next season. I mean, they played really well. I think they're a really competent team, really good. So maybe they run it back. They dealt with a lot of injuries as well. Same with the Lions. Just really banged up season, kind of a lost season for the 49ers. So maybe they'll come back next year and be just as good and maybe be able to make a push for the playoffs. But for right now, the 49ers, their season's done. But yeah, back to this Week 18 matchup for the Vikings, and it's going to be a really good one, and it's going to come down to, I think, the Lions defense again. Can they get some turnovers? Can they get some picks off Darnold, who's been having a close to an MVP caliber season? Surprisingly, he's been insanely well, but can they get some picks off of Sam Darnold? Can they maybe get some fumbles? If so, that'd be huge. The Vikings offense is really good, a lot of weapons, so we'll see if they can just get enough stops, maybe get some turnovers. And we know the Vikings defense is really good as well, but I still think the Lions offense, they're going to score. It's going to be really close, and I don't know who's going to win this game. Definitely going to be the biggest game of the year so far, this Week 18 matchup, and it's ridiculous that one of these teams, the Vikings and the Lions, one of them are going to be 14-3, be the 5 seed, not have a home playoff game. I don't know how that works. I kind of think maybe some changes should be made, because how are you 14-3 and you're a wild card team and you don't have a home playoff game? I think the standings should go top to bottom based off of just record. So whichever team would lose this game, they wouldn't drop down to the 5 seed. They'd probably be like the 2 or 3 seed, something like that. I think something like that makes a lot more sense in the standings, rather than if you win your division, you automatically get a home playoff game. Just looking how weak divisions like the NFC South or the AFC South are, the Texans and the Bucs look kind of a little disappointing, and the records are not that impressive, and they're definitely more impressive teams that should have a home playoff game. I don't know, that's just what I think. The standing should just go based on record, not by division, but it is what it is. I mean, really, the Lions kind of need to win this game. You need to get these home playoff games, because it's extremely hard to win 3 straight road games in the playoffs and then win a Super Bowl after that. If the Lions can win next week, that would be huge, because you get home field throughout the entire playoffs, and you get a bye week, first week of the playoffs. So that is insanely good. That would very much help the Lions, but it's going to be a big game. Hopefully the Lions win. And for this week, it's a win. Another win for the Lions. Best record in franchise history. That's what we're looking at. So really good season for the Lions. And yeah, that'll do it for this week. Do it for this video. This has been Jim's Ball, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.